So one time they tried to make Ben 10 a part of essentially the Justice League, and it just isn't what I remember in the slightest. Okay, so for context, as a kid, I had a bunch of Ben 10 figures, but before I ever got the classic Ben figure, I got Ben in the Galactic Enforcers uniform. Of course, I wanted classic Ben as well, but I was insanely grateful for all the toys I had as a kid, and I guess having the figure of him in the Galactic Enforcers uniform gave me like this jaded memory of the Galactic Enforcers being such a huge part of the TV show. So I wanted to go back into Ben 10 and explore the Galactic Enforcers from classic series onward. Episode 6 of Ben 10's classic series is very fittingly called The Galactic Enforcers. Ben's reading a manga and is fantasizing about him being a superhero called Ultra Ben in a very tokusatsu-inspired costume, fighting a very tokusatsu-inspired mecha. First of all, Ben 10 is not unfamiliar with the concept of tokusatsu in the slightest, borderline being one, but also pulling from many other tokusatsus like Super Sentai and Ultraman. But also, I never understood why he was fantasizing about being a superhero when brother just is one. Like, was it just to have like a suit? You could make a suit. You could have a suit if you want. You've also got like 11 aliens at this point, but sure, you could have a suit. The main antagonists of the episode are 6-6 and also Volcanus, who makes his debut in this episode. Volcanus, of course, being quite a pivotal alien, or well, maybe not pivotal, but a very popular and reoccurring alien and monster as we go on throughout the show. They arrive on Earth and start terrorizing the town, so it's hero time, and Ben turns into Forearms. Arguably the perfect alien to fight Volcanus with, but isn't much help when 6-6 gets involved with his weapons. Just as things get tough, Ben is saved by a brand new team of heroes, the Galactic Enforcers. Who'd have thought? It's not as if he was in like the title and thumbnail. Maybe it's not in the title and thumbnail. Actually, I don't think it's in the title and thumbnail. Maybe it is.
I'm losing myself.
We have Teeny, a female Tetramand who's very easygoing and whose strength matches Forearms. Synaptech, an octopus-like being and second in command of the Enforcers. He's very smart, but is also very no-nonsense and a little arrogant. He has telekinesis, the ability to create force fields, and can fly and fire energy blasts. And finally, Ultimo, leader of the Galactic Enforcers, who is fairly humanoid with grey skin. He's the strongest of the team and is also very clearly just a parody of Superman. Quite fitting considering Superman just released in cinemas. Have you guys seen it? I fucking love that film. He literally has all the same powers. Super strength, flight, heat vision, freeze breath, and enhanced durability. And they have quite a cool uniform as well. Mainly yellow and white with gold accents throughout, and their suits alter to each member of the team. Teeny's is more of like a gladiator looking version. Synaptech has sort of a helmet because he's just an exposed brain really. And then Ultimo has more of an official uniform, which looks even more like Superman with a cape and a big U on his chest. It's like they got Superman and Underdog and just went, yep, that's our hero. They help Ben take on the bad guys, proving to be extremely worthy fighters. Though, to get it out of the way immediately, Teeny has a crush on Ben, of course only seeing him right now as a Tetramand. This is the thing. So Ben is 10. And we know through the lore of the show, this is what a 10-year-old Tetramand looks like. Because as we see Forearms as Ben grows up, he looks different. And canonically, this is what a 10-year-old Forearms looks like. And of course, the debate for many years has been, Teeny, what are you doing? But something that I believe the Ink Tank brought up recently is that, what if Teeny is also a 10-year-old Tetramand? Like, do we know that? I mean, either way, there's something going wrong. Because either Teeny's not 10 years old and has a crush on a 10-year-old Tetramand, which is of course fucking bad. But then if she is 10, Ultimo's got some explaining to do. That is child labour to a ridiculous extent. But then again, Azimuth and Max and just anybody who entrusts the Omnitrix to Ben, children trying to save the world clearly isn't an issue in this universe. So that's one of the most talked about things about the Galactic Enforcers, I think, ever. So just roll with those punches. Let me know your opinions in the comments. 6-6 and Volcanus retreat, and the Galactic Enforcers invite Team Tennyson to their spaceship. They reveal that the bad guys are after something called Element X, which is a Part 1 ingredient to a galaxy-destroying explosive. They send some drones out to Earth to find 6-6 and Volcanus, just to figure out where they are so they can plan the next attack, and meanwhile, Ultimo offers Ben a tour of the ship. But only Ben. Ultimo is a big stickler for the rules, specifically the Galactic Code of Conduct, which states that someone who basically is mortal, or at least somebody that doesn't have the means to protect themselves with supernatural abilities, can't have a tour of the ship, something along those lines, or it's too dangerous for them. So Ben, because he has the Omnitrix, he's fine and he can have the tour. Bit bullshit if you ask me, especially considering Ultimo is meant to be the strongest hero on his planet. Did I mention that? The planet he's from, he is meant to be the strongest being on it. So it means we could be set up for an incredible hero throughout the Ben 10 franchise, but it's also a bit weird. He should be able to defend Max and Gwen in that scenario, but I guess the rules are the rules. After some time on the ship, the observer drones locate 6-6 and Volcanus at a quarry, prompting the team to act swiftly. It's at this point that Ultimo then offers Ben a position, temporary albeit, but a position on the Galactic Enforcers, even giving him a suit completely identical to his, which is what I had the figure of as a kid. A little bit vain, if I'm being honest. Identical suit, insane. Ben's gassed about it though. I mean, he trips over the cape at one point, but he's just happy that he's got a suit. Again, if a suit is all you want, you can sort it out, bro. Do you know what I mean? We got Lucky Girl eventually. She made that on her own. I also never understood why they let him have a suit. Both the Galactic Enforcers in-universe, but also just the writers and designers outside of the show. Because as we see, they go to Earth and Ben turns into Accelerate immediately. And there is no remnants of the suit. Like, it's not a yellow Accelerate, or like, you know when he's on that boat and he gets like that life jacket or the raincoat over each alien. That doesn't happen. So why they give him the suit, I will never know. Maybe for the toy, but if they were that asked about toys, we maybe would have got a toy of Ultimo, Synaptech, and Trini as well, and we didn't. And yes, I almost called it Trini. I'm a Power Rangers nerd as well.
Thank you, Catherine Obvious.
Which leads me to wonder, let's take a little break in the video. Are you guys here because you clicked on this as a Ben 10 fan, or are you a fan of Film From Studios and you're just watching another video? Let me know, or are you both? Are you a Ben 10 fan and a Film From fan? Because that's even cooler. Before they go into battle, Ben starts munching on some chocolate and offers some to Ultimo, and he kind of offers it to him because he doesn't want to be disrespectful, and Ultimo doesn't want to be disrespectful by refusing it, so he takes it and quite enjoys it. They then lock Gwen and Max in the force field and they head down to Earth. Turns out, Ultimo's weakness is chocolate. Fucking chocolate. And he ends up looking like the old lady's mother from SpongeBob.
What's all that yelling?
Technically, it's a chemical called cyclopenthenate that is found in chocolate. Bro, it is chocolate, okay? Like, I know that's the explanation they give. One, how did he not know that ever before eating the chocolate? Two, how did any of them not know that that was in chocolate if that's the case? And three, if that is only weakness, why is it a weakness? Who's gonna force feed him chocolate on the battlefield? Unless you've got cyclopenthenate blasters. Instantly, Synaptech is untrusting of Ben, believing him to have done this on purpose. Anyway, we kick into action and Synaptech tries to lead immediately as he's second in command. He's now technically the leader. He fails miserably. He's not cut out for it in the slightest. Remember when I said he's a bit arrogant? It doesn't work out for him. Max and Gwen end up teleporting themselves to the battlefield from the ship, just as Ben is able to stall the bad guys, and they manage to stall him long enough that they can gather the Galactic Enforcers. Synaptech can save them from a big landslide that 6-6 and Volcanus caused. However, they're now getting away in their ship. Ultimo is back to his tricks and is concerned about protocol, but Ben then takes the lead and just says, look, we tried protocol, didn't work. Let's just figure out where they're going and let's go guns blazing. That's the Tennyson way. That's how we're gonna do things. And like, Ultimo does agree. Synaptech is like, no thanks. Teeny's just like, hey yo, if you want to turn into a Tetraman again, I'm cool with it. They break into a warehouse where the bad guys are working and hands are thrown. However, Ben's plan, like I said, is basically to not have a plan. Instead, we just see what the bad guys throw at them and try to counter them on the spot. Synaptech is fuming, but Ultimo just loves it. Like, he's flying about, he's like, no plan, no plan. This is quite exhilarating, you know. Oh, I love it.
Oh, this is exhilarating, isn't it? No plan, no rules, no...
And like, to begin with, they don't have the advantage, as you suspect. It's a pretty standard Ben 10 fight scene, if I'm being honest. Like, hands are thrown, there's a bit of comedy, Ben loses, bit of comedy, villain loses, bit of comedy, Ben, like, you know, it's the standard back and forth. Until eventually they manage to pour what is seemingly hot lava on top of 6-6 and Volcanus, followed by water. And even though we're like 3-4 years too early, we Minecraft lore it, which I know is technically a real life lore, but barely. And the water and lava together mix stone. You know, in real life, it's not that simple. It's a bit more of a hot tar, but it's fine, and they're trapped now. So they're debriefing after they've defeated the bad guys, and the episode gets weird, or weirder. Like, it was a weird episode anyway. But Ben basically goes up to Teeny and is like, okay, about the whole Tetraman thing. Like, he tries to explain that it's just an alien in his watch. Teeny stops him, and he's like, hey, yo, don't worry. I've got myself a new man. And Synaptech just floats over and puts a tentacle around her. And she's like, check out the cranium on him. and they walk away. And I just couldn't tell you for the life of me why that was included. It was kind of a running joke that Teeny fancied him, but they only mentioned it like 2-3 times max. There was never any interest between Teeny and Synaptech. All Synaptech was doing was being miserable for the entire episode. There was no part where he secretly fancied her or nothing. And yeah, this is only like a 20-minute span of an episode, but it's just the most random thing I've ever seen done. I mean, like Ben 10 as a show, classic specifically, is incredible writing. I don't know, it's just weird. But Teeny and Synaptech are the thing now. So, you know, power couple of 2006, let's go.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay?
Ultimo thanks Ben and offers him a permanent place in the Galactic Enforcers, handing him his own badge. Ben very politely declines, saying that he's working with Team Tennis and he's got it under control, but Ultimo says, hey, keep the badge, in the hopes that one day we cross paths and get to work together again. A strange episode, for sure, but like a really cool introduction to a new team of heroes in the Ben Prime timeline, and that badge surely means they're going to meet again and they're going to throw hands together, and I'm excited. I think there's a lot of potential for the team to show up again, but also just for the standalone characters to show up again. Let's see an episode with just Synaptech, with Teeny, with Ultimo. Let's go. Okay, Alien Force is their next appearance. That's chill. There's like 2 seasons of Ben after this episode, and then like a season and a half before the next appearance. Yeah. So the Galactic Enforcers make their triumphant return in an episode that we were all gassed about as kids. Vengeance of Vilgax. Hell yes. Just the rumors that Vilgax was going to return throughout. It was a peak time to be alive. It was so good. Okay, let's get into it. So the episode opens on a near-destroyed planet. Synaptech is trapped under some rubble and Teeny races to free him. Now immediately we notice their suits are black and white instead of yellow. Now I'll be honest, I did prefer the yellow look for them, but you can't go wrong with some classic Tennyson black and white, and perhaps that's what inspired the uniform change. Maybe they met Ben and was like, yeah, that was a cool looking logo, maybe we can all unite with those colours throughout the galaxy. Just as Teeny is removing the rubble from Synaptech, Vilgax grabs her and throws her back. She literally hits into a building, cracks it all the way to the top, and parts of the top of the building fall off and land on her, trapping her, I assume, not killing her. Vilgax asks where Ultimo is before he swoops in, immediately charging towards him. But Vilgax then activates a shield on his arm, blocking Ultimo and knocking him down. He tells Ultimo that he should know that, as per the Galactic Code of Conduct, a conqueror's challenge is between the greatest warrior of the attacking race and the greatest warrior of the defending planet, which is Vilgax and Ultimo. Ultimo tries to fight back, but Vilgax keeps taking him down hit after hit. He then smashes down at Ultimo's head, creating literally a ripple shockwave throughout the city they're in. He then declares victory against Ultimo and the planet, using a machine to absorb all of Ultimo's power, and then he sets off to find Ben Tennyson. So they're not dead, right? They're gonna come back next episode or in the future. The fuck? That's it? That's fucking it. The greatest fighting force in the galaxy, the Galactic Enforcers, killed by Vilgax in their second only appearance. I had such vivid memories of these guys being in so many more episodes. And they damn well could have been. They could have like joined forces with the Plumbers at some point. We could have seen shenanigans with Kevin Levin. We could have seen Omniverse shenanigans with them. Why would you create such a distinct team of heroes, giving them an episode introduction, giving them lore, giving them backstory, giving them uniform that we come to recognize, to the point where we bring them back and don't even reintroduce them. We just know, those are the Galactic Enforcers. Just for them to be killed and never return. They were literally just used as a power scale to show how menacing and powerful Vilgax is, which worked, and we all love Vilgax. I mean, I'd find him a bit more menacing if he didn't have this Zord builder feature going on. The team honestly had potential to be a super powered version of the Plumbers, but the show just left them go to die. And I mean, Ultimo was potentially a little bit OP, but like you could have worked in the fucking chocolate story again, or just the chemical specifically, that could have been a challenge to him. I mean, you already gave us Alien X with the sort of counter that they all have to make 3 separate decisions. Apparently one of the showrunners, Derek J. Wyatt, regretted not having them return in Omniverse, so I guess they were kind of still alive after this entire scene, but why they didn't bring them back, I'll never know. And I couldn't find any information online as to why. All I found was this one reply tweet of him saying he wished he brought them back. The only extra piece of information we ever had on the Galactic Enforcers was in a pop-up, you know, the pop-ups that the show used to do, where they said that the prison in Carcinogen, Incarcicon, were apparently built by the first ever team of Galactic Enforcers, and again, giving us lore. And I know we're meant to take those pop-ups with a pinch of salt. I know they sort of retcon and contradict a few things, and they're not always canon, but just that extra bit of information, you know, that there's been multiple teams of Galactic Enforcers. And even if like Ultima, Tini, and Synaptech were goners, we could have seen a new team of Galactic Enforcers get formed. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know they really tried to push the plumbers throughout the latter half of the show, especially in Ultimate Alien and especially in Omniverse. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, that is the story, the full story of the Galactic Enforcers. They didn't make it into the reboot in the slightest, and 5YL never even bothered to do anything with them, which in hindsight makes total sense. Ben 10 is really good at setting up great characters and having them have the worst downfall. If you want to see a video on the downfall of Albedo, then click the video in the end card.
Huge thank you and shout out to Sarah Jane, our Super Dino Mode Patreon.